Morning. Got a lot of new stuff to show you today. First these. Morning sheep. We have sheep, everyone. Haha, 25 of them. Yeah. Morning to you too. Fully fed, loads of grass. And they've been producing wool for the last few weeks. Not a great deal yet, but it's some. So, been a lot of changes around here over the last few months. It's been a good few months since my last video. I think 7 or 8, I think. We've even got a new camera. As you can see, this is the old 8410, and I have sorted the wheels out. I've taken the doubles off, the twins, and I've put it down to some singles at the minute. Just because. And got another little silo here to keep the grass in for these sheep. And the field here, this was the much smaller of my field of wheat back last year. And as we've constructed this sheep barn here, this is now going to be the field of grass to keep the sheep fed, because that's all they eat. So this is going to be getting drilled soon. So yeah, there's been a lot of changes around here. So about 3 or 4 months ago, I got a phone call from Joe over at Clever Motors, and he told me of a farmer a couple of hundred miles north of here, who had unfortunately had to take the very hard decision of making early retirement due to quite a serious health condition. It was really sad. He's still with us, thankfully. He's doing all right, but he's had to give up his lifelong passion and work of being a farmer, and that meant he had to get rid of a huge amount of his equipment. Now, he had contacted Joe. He's got a lot of people in his contact book, Joe has. He'd contacted him and put the feelers out there that he was going to have to sell all of his equipment to pay for his medical care. So he gave me a call, Joe did, and put me in touch with this guy. Now, the money he was asking, he basically had quite a lot of kit, mainly John Deere. And he was in desperate need of money so that he could fund this medical care. And the price he was asking for all this stuff was absolutely ridiculous. I think the poor guy was in such a desperate state. So he came to me, or I was put in touch with him. And so yeah, we did a deal. And I did end up giving him a lot more money than what he was asking, because I thought what he was asking was absolutely ridiculous, quite frankly. But he was desperate, and I knew what his kit was worth, give or take a bit, so I paid him more than what he was asking for. So there's been a lot of changes. We've got a lot of new kit now. One thing that did happen, the 9882, whilst out in the field with the Landol, blew up. Decided to punch a hole in the engine block, sent a piston and a conrod way out. The size of a watermelon, the hole in the block was. It was ridiculous. So that's now completely dead and sitting in this shed over here in something of it's a bit of a museum piece now, this shed, thanks to the introduction of a whole load of new kit. There's a handful of bits and bobs in here. Cleaned. These two are fine. Everything's been drained of fuel. Obviously the Mac's been cleaned, drained of fuel. That's something of I will use that now and again, but as you'll see in a few minutes, I might have something to replace that. This thing is dead as a doornail. It's not worth a great deal of money. I think it's just got less than 9,000 hours on it. And because the engine is completely knackered, as I say, it's not worth a great deal of money, so I've just kind of sat it in here with as a bit of a collection, a bit of a museum, a mausoleum more than anything. And the Farmall and the 4040, these are now pretty much out of action. I'm just, because this was Dad's and that was Grandfather's, I'm just kind of looking after them now. They're just going to sit here and look good. So that's that. As you will see here, I have had another load of work done. We have bought this gigantic silo system. In this thing is we have seeds, we have herbicide, we have liquid fertilizer. There's a clue, and lime. So this is where I can stock up on all my relative bits and bobs there. And we get a when I run out, I get a delivery. A great big tanker comes along and fills me up when I need to. So, anyway, let me introduce you to the new toys. Here we are. Right. Look at all my new stuff. Haha. Check that out. And that. That's awesome. Triples! Right, where do I start? Let's start over here, shall we? I know I sold the old truck last year, but this was part of the whole thing. Now, the guy I bought all the stuff from, he needed rid of everything. He didn't really have the time or the mind space to go through the trouble of selling things individually and having to hang on to this because that didn't sell and this sold. You know what I'm talking about. So he just wanted rid of everything in one go. So I have, in that big bundle, I suppose you can call it, I've got this Peterbilt truck, I've got a Wilson pace setter, I've got this awesome Demco grain cart, quite similar to Uncle Mike's actually back in Evergreen, Canadian flag on it and everything. I have this beautiful 9630 RT, we have the 9620 RX with a John Deere seeder on the back, an N542C. Now this is full of seed. It's been in there for a while, so I've got to get this empty. This is bad seed in here. If we just squeeze down here and have a look, there you see, it's full. This seed's been in here for months, obviously as a direct consequence of this poor guy who was very ill and hadn't been able to tend to his farm and his equipment and all that. So obviously it's no problem. I'll get it emptied. I've got to get it cleaned out. Got to get everything cleaned out. Look at the state of it all. Looks like it's been washed in mud, doesn't it? But we've got this this John Deere plough, 2410. Quite a big thing. Quite surprised it fits in here, to be honest. But yeah, that's awesome. And then we have this, the 9620 with triples. It's a bit of an old thing, this. It is 2006, I believe. It's got quite a few hours on it. They've all got a few hours on it. I think these two have got a couple of 100 hours on it, but this one's got a fair few more. All of them are north of 500 horsepower, so they're all super powerful. I mean, look at the state of this, though, really. Look at the inside. Absolutely disgusting. So I've got a lot of cleaning to do. These only arrived a couple of weeks ago, and I've obviously been a bit busy around here, there, and everywhere, so bit of cleaning to do before I get them dirty again. And check out this. We've got the R4054 crop sprayer. Again, covered in mud, full of liquid fertilizer, and as you can see, that's the reason why I now have a silo of liquid fertilizer and not solid fertilizer, because we have this on the farm. Awesome stuff. I think it's like 38 meters spread, so it's a massive piece of kit. So that's awesome. And yeah, this Wilson pace setter trailer, dual hopper trailer, which again, everything here, as I said before, needs a massive clean. But yeah, how awesome is that? Let's get this noisy thing opened. But yeah, through no intention of my own, I'm now pretty much a green farm, apart from the truck. I sold the T7 because I purchased all of these things, and I've still got the 8210 and the 8410. Obviously, we saw the 8410 that's parked over at the sheep barn over there. But just over here, let's pop over to the shed and see what we've got in here. I think the 82's in here. But yeah, I sold the T7 because I needed to scrape even a couple of quid back from this ridiculous purchase. So I don't think there's much different in here, apart from the missing 9882. Still got the Landol, that's a beast. Still got the Samaz windrower. Yeah, the 82's here, doing all right. Now I do still have this little plough as well. I know we've got the big plough, but I've kept hold of this little one because that's ideal for dealing with the little sheep field. That big one over there, the John Deere thing, is way too big to be dealing with that sheep field. And I know it is a very big plough. I even thought I might even struggle getting it down the road because of the trees. But yeah, come check out my trees as well. These are coming on well. Hey up, Max. You alright, pal? Hello, mate. But yeah, look at my trees. How awesome does this look? Look at my road. Fully grown American elms. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, getting sidetracked. So yeah, that's the state of the kit on the farm now, at the minute anyway. It was quite a purchase, I must admit. Took a couple of days to get everything here. because as I say, they were based a couple of 100 miles west of here. Not much left in the silo now. If some of you might remember, I did the big wheat harvest last year, and we made, I think it was somewhere between $30,000 and $40,000 from the sale of the wheat at the local grain buyers. So that was a nice little bit of income there. So fields, where are we at? We still have the same fields that we had before. The last few weeks I've been prepping these for a drilling of soybeans, because next month, we're at the end of April at the minute, but next month we're going to be drilling soybeans in all the fields. So I've been busy, hard at work. As I say, the 9882 was in this field, getting it cultivated and mulched. Yeah, and it sent a rod through the block, which was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, took a while to get that mess cleaned up, let me tell you. But we came through. That happened about a week before I got the phone call off Joe, so yeah, that was a case of it kind of landed at the right time in a way, because my big tractor for pulling the land all around the fields blew up, and then a week later I got a phone call saying, would you like to buy a whole load of new tractors? Funnily enough, yes I would. So that's that, kind of. That's a bit of an update as to where we're up to. This field, the bigger field over there, and the little field that did have the peas in, that's all now prepped, limed, and ready to take a drilling of soybeans. We've still got the cows over there. They're still doing right. Me and Amos have still been working together with the grass and keeping both of our herds of cattle fed. Still got the big field of grass that's almost ready to be cut in the next couple of weeks. And I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else new around here. I've shown you the new equipment here. In there, I know it might not make sense, but I'm going to give it all a wash before I get it all dirty again, because I haven't actually seen them in their bright green splendour. They all arrive like this, covered in muck. As I say, they look like they've been washed with dirt, don't they? But yeah, we'll give them all a clean. I need to do a bit of work on this peat, because it is running all right, but there's a few things that need attending to. There's a leaky airline somewhere that needs looking at. But I didn't think I was going to be in the market for another truck, obviously, as I sold that big Mac last year. But what can I say? It arrived in a bulk of other equipment, so I've got it now, so I'm going to make use of it. That's why the old Mac is now just taking a back seat and is now just enjoying a quiet life in the shed over there. So yeah, but yeah, I also sold that Lemken, that blue Lemken seeder as well. I got rid of that because I knew this was coming, so I got rid of that because this one's a bit wider. I'm not sure, I can't actually remember the width of this one yet. I'll check that out. But yeah, so I think there's going to be I'm going to be working a bit differently in the fields now. So I'm going to, obviously, when it comes to harvest time anyway, I've still got the Clars. I've still got that the big harvester that I got off Uncle Mike. That's still running really, really well. And the honeybee header, that's all tucked away in the Concept shed over there by the in the distance over next to the garage where the Dodge is. Still got the Dodge. So yeah, so I'm going to be essentially, when it does come to harvest, I'll be running the grain cart, running this Demco, and then loading into the trailer and using the trailer to tip into the silo. So obviously it does have a much bigger capacity. I think it's 60,000 litres, I think, the capacity of this thing. So it'll mean I'll be working a bit differently to what I was used to. But it's going to be fun, I guess. Real fun. So, what's on the cards today? I don't know why I'm walking over that way. I'm just talking to the camera aimlessly, not thinking about what I'm doing. I need to get back in here and get these tractors washed, don't I? Make them look a little bit more presentable before I get them dirty again. So, I think we will start with the crop sprayer. Let's see how clean we can get this looking, shall we? Not bad. Looks alright, doesn't it? Could do with a lick of paint here and there, couldn't it? But beggars can't be choosers. Looks awesome. I've got a crop sprayer. Right, what next? Well, I think we'll just go with the closest. Let's get this plough cleaned. And the big John Deere with the triples. There we go. Took me a while to get this beast in here, to be honest. I've forgotten how difficult it was to reverse such a huge lorry trailer. It's about 40 foot long, this thing. But yeah, nice wash later. Looks a bit more presentable, doesn't it? Again, looks like it's been washed with a hedgehog. But so yeah, they all need a little bit of a lick of paint, I guess. But again, I'm not moaning. They look awesome. So yeah, I've got the equipment outside running, just getting the oil flowing, warming up a bit. These look splendid, don't they? Now they've had a bit of a wash. I've had the jet washer inside the hopper of here, getting everything cleaned out, getting right into the little nooks and crannies in the wheels and in the tracks and stuff. And here is my big plough. Now this is, I think, just under 13 metres wide. Quite a beast, isn't it? We're going to get a lot of ground covered with this, and this will help me, especially reduce field time out in the field with these big fields of mine. So that's awesome. As is this, with its triples. So yeah, here's the new seeder that I've got to get emptied. The N542C. And my, quite frankly, beautiful 9620 RX. I cannot wait to get this out in the fields. I do actually need to drill the grass field, sorry, next to the sheep barn. And I know this is absolute overkill for that, because it is the smallest of my fields. But this is the only seeder I have now. The Lemcom might have been about the right size, maybe a little bit too big, and this is way too big, but it's the only one I've got. So I will just have to struggle through that. But that won't take long, getting that grass seed down. But I've got to get this emptied. I've got to get this bad seed out of here. I think there's not much I can do with that apart from bin it, essentially. So I'm going to spend an hour or so now, and I'm going to unload it into some empty pallet bag things, and get rid of it pretty much. Right, there we go. I've just shoveled all of that into those totes down there. No idea what kind of literage is there, but all that is for the bin, unfortunately. It's many months old and has been sat in this hopper for ages, and all the seeds have gone quite bad. So it's a damn shame to waste seed like that, because seed is expensive, but if it goes bad, it goes bad. What can I say? Right, so knowing that I do need to get some grass seed down, I think I can start. This will be the first time I get to use my silo system. So let's crack on. First things first, let's get this folded up, eh? What a thing. Look at that. Look at this place. How cool is this? Didn't think I'd ever have a 9RX in my fleet any day. But there we are. Right, let's drag it round here, pull up next to our silo system here, and get this thing topped up with good seed this time. So let's swing it round. There should be more than enough room here. There we are, I think. Let's get that cover open. There we are. Right, let's get things turned on and get this filled up. Seems to be working a treat. Let's see, how full's that? That looks about right now. Just go turn it all off again. Right, let's get to the field. Although actually, before I do, I've just left these running, haven't I? I think these will be... let's get these turned off. Don't want to be wasting fuel now, do I? That's an expensive commodity in this day and age. You can stay like this for a while, though. Just leave it unfolded. There we go. What do you think, though, eh? The new fleet. Right, let's get to it. Don't want to run over me dog. Careful, Max. Goodness me, that was close. Here we are. Let's spin this around. I was thinking I might need to shift that, shift the 84 out of the way, but I think I'll be alright. So, spin it around. I do always like to work in a clockwise direction. In fact, I'm going to need to spread this out a bit more as well, aren't I? I don't know. Let's get it unfolded. That looks so awesome, doesn't it? There we go. Right, let's turn her on. There we go. Drop it down. Let's just get out and have a quick check, shall we? Doesn't feel like there's any air leaking out of anywhere. No. All good so far. It's had a bit of use out of it, this thing has, over the years. No idea how much work it's actually done. It's got a bit of wear on it here and there, hasn't it? But he did assure me that it works perfectly fine. So, and don't get me wrong, guys, I know this does appear to be massively overkill for this little field, but it's the only one I've got. Look at that, though. I am very chuffed with this. I've got a 9RX. Right, anyway, enough gawping. Let's get to work, shall we? In fact, I need to look this way, don't I? Right, let's crack on. Got to watch those trees. Oh, goodness me, I'm going well off the field boundary there, aren't I? Need to get used to this. What are we doing there? Oh, that's not too bad. Right, I'll crack on with this, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Ish. There we go. Let's get that folded up. 15 minutes that took. Absolutely brilliant. So I need to get the field roller in here and get that done, and I'm also going to use my slurry spreader, as the cows have been producing slurry non-stop, obviously, because that's what they do. And get some slurry in here and give it a bit of a fertilising. So I need to. What do I need to do? I'm not going to be drilling soybeans now till the beginning of next month, which is tomorrow. Actually, it's the last day of April at the minute, isn't it? So I need to. I'm going to run this back to the yard now. And then I'm going to come back over here, pick up the 84 that's over there, take it back to the yard, get the field roller hitched up, and get back in here, get that done. And I shall pick the camera back up and show you where I'm up to in a little while. But before I crack on with that, I forgot to mention that I am actually in talks with another local farmer about buying this plot of land directly opposite my farm here. He seems to be asking a reasonable price for it, so I'm just considering whether to buy it or not. It's a decent plot of land. I'm not sure of the exact acreage. Can't remember actually. I've got it written down somewhere. But let me just hop over here. Yeah, if I did buy it, I think I'd want to be doing a similar thing. You remember what I did last year with my big fields? They were full of valleys and little rivers and streams and stuff with all this foliage, and they've got these big areas, these islands of trees and stuff. So I might, if I do purchase this plot of land, I will probably strongly consider doing that same thing again, renting out a load of machinery and chopping all the trees down and yeah, essentially turning it into one really big field. Because if we work our way through this foliage, there's somewhere that, yeah, you see, you've got all this. I mean, yes, it's very pretty, it looks nice, but it's in the middle of a field, so it's kind of wasted land, really. I could do with, if I do buy it, I could do with it all being arable land. So, there's a bit of a financial commitment there, isn't there, which I need to mull over and figure out whether it's worth it, but, yeah, maybe, in due course. That, my friends, is the dictionary definition of a tight squeeze. Millimeters in it. Right, anyway, let's crack on. I need to jump into the 84, go and pick that up from the sheep barn over there, bring that back over here, and get it hooked up to the field roller, which I think is in the workshop over there. So let's crack on. Right, let's get rolling. Down she goes. Oh, I'm a bit off there, aren't I? Out of practice. Right, that's the rolling done in that little, I'll call it the sheep field, I guess. And this wee beastie is in need of a drink. It's running on fumes at the minute, so let's get this fueled up. Now, there's not a great deal for me to do for the rest of the day, but tomorrow we're going to get drilling with the soybeans. We're going to get the 2 massive fields drilled. That's the plan for tomorrow. So I think I'm going to pop the camera down, have a bit of a relaxing afternoon, and get prepared for tomorrow. I'll see you all in the morning, bright and early. Morning all. It's definitely early. Not quite bright really, but looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. There's not a cloud in the sky here. It's 6:15, so let's give the dog an early breakfast. Where are you, pal? He's around here somewhere, I'm sure. There he is. There he is. Morning, buddy. There you go, Super Nose. You grab some food, mate. No, this way. The dog. Right. Today, it's all about the drilling. So let's get busy. And I've got to reverse this thing out of here first. I mean, look at that. It's not even millimeters in it, is there? In fact, I've got to get there first. I think I'm going to injure myself considerably if I try and get down there. Or down there. Squeeze down here. There we go. Awesome. Right. Slowly. Let's get out of here. Oh, there we go. That wasn't too bad, was it? I'll make a farmer out of myself, yeah. Alright, let's be careful here. I don't want to drop it down the ditch. Where are we? Oh, there we go. Brilliant. Right, to the fields. Now, the only thing that's going to work a little bit differently to what I've been used to is when it comes to refilling this hopper of seed if and when it does run out, which it pretty much will do at some point during this field. Obviously, I used to load up with big bags and my telehandler, but now that I've got my big silo system, I'm going to have to stop in the field and leave the field in this and take it back over to the silo system and fill it up there. So the telehandler's over there. It's lived over at the cow barn for the last few months, just running bale work pretty much. Occasionally need to whip it back over to the farm and pick up a pallet or two. But here we are. What a beautiful day though, eh? Look at this. Right, let's line up here. Get her unfolded. Excellent stuff. What a day. Couldn't ask for a better day, could you? Not a cloud in the sky. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get this turned on. Get it dropped down. Give it a quick check again. All seems to be good, I think. Yeah. Nothing looks out of place. Can't hear any air hissing out of any of the airlines. No, all good, all good. Right, okay. Yeah, good to go. So, let's do exactly that. Let's get going. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is an absolute weapon of a tractor. I absolutely love it. So it's ran at 12 miles an hour with this seeder on the back. It's taken me just under an hour and a half to seed this whole field, and if I remember correctly, which I very rarely don't, I think with the T7 and that blue Lemken thing that I had before this, I'm sure this was about 3 hours. So factoring in the extra width of this one and the extra power of the tractor and the running speed of the seeder, it has halved my drilling time almost, I think, roughly. So anyway, right, let's get ourselves back to the yard. Now I've got a whole other field to get drilled today. It's still nice and early in the morning. I think it's knocking on the door of about 8 o'clock now, I think, which is brilliant. So I think I'm gonna go and get myself some breakfast. I'm going to top up with seed. Obviously, as you saw with this field, I had to top up the hopper once, and I think I've got about, what does it say? Yeah, I've got about 30% left in this current hopper. So yeah, it's not done too bad. Although that field in particular is predominantly silty clay, the ground isn't quite good, so it does drink up the seed quite badly. But if I'm correct in remembering the field that I'm going to be drilling next, it isn't quite so bad. So we shall see. But yeah, I'm going to. I think I'm going to call it here for this farm vlog of mine. Now that I'm back into it, as I said at the beginning of this video, it's been a good few months since we've been back on the farm here. My new camera seems to be performing quite well as well, which is good. So yeah, I think this will be enough for one video, and the next video you will join me. Well, in a little while. I'm going to top up this hopper, the seeder. I'm going to go and get myself some breakfast because I'm pretty hungry. So let's pull up next to here for now. And you know what? We'll just turn that off for now. Love it. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm going to go and get myself some breakfast. And you will see me again in the next video when I pick up the camera. We're going to carry on drilling that field over there in the distance that you can see. That's getting soybeans as well. And the little field that was full of peas, that's going to be soybeans as well. Forgive my lack of imagination, but there's a bit of a need for soybeans in the local area. The grain buyers have been requesting it, so that's what I'm growing. So, as I say, breakfast time, get myself some food, and I'll see you in the next video.